What was it like for you, being somebody with bipolar, playing a mentally unstable character on television? Was there ever times that was weird for you or uncomfortable for you? Like how was that?
Definitely. I think that's one of the reasons why I really wanted to write the book, but also name it Crazy as my superpower. I felt like I did a disservice to like my mental health community by like hiding in plain sight for so long. But I was proud of the fact that along the whole way, even though I was like hiding and it was a secret, anytime there was something I felt uncomfortable with, I very much like spoke up and was like, we need to take this more serious, and it needs to be creepier, and she needs to be like a darker character, and not like make fun of it and make light of it. There needs to be like a danger to it.
Yeah.
And so I really fought for that. But it did feel like hiding in plain sight. And so I felt like I kind of owed my fans and like my mental health community me to come out and then say like, it's okay to, I'm not going to change people's like lexicon. They're going to always call things crazy, but I can take that word and twist it and use it as power.
Yeah. Well, let's just get into the like being diagnosed with it. When you finally got the answer of it, what was that all like for you?
It is both a relief, and it also is a little bit of like a scary, like you're about to go down this road that you don't understand what's waiting for you down there. And you know it's going to be a long journey, and you know that every day is going to be some sort of battle, but at least when you have answers, you're prepared.
Yeah.
So it's like going on this like hike, but you've got a backpack and you've got supplies, and you know, that's kind of what it felt like. So I was relieved and also scared. But
you were 20 when you got diagnosed.
Yeah, I was
right?
around there.
Yeah.
And I didn't respect it the way I needed to. At the beginning, it definitely was this thing that I needed answers for because I was a suicide survivor. And then I had answers as to why that situation happened and how I could avoid that. And so at first I, really went down the road and took it seriously. And then what happens a lot with people who struggle with their mental health is they think they have it under control. And they're like, oh, it's fine. I'm fine without my medication. I'm fine not going to therapy. And I very much did that. And I always had something to keep me distracted. Mm-hmm. But I would have extreme highs and lows and wasn't taking care of myself the way I needed to. And so I've recently talked about it in an interview, but I've never really gone super in depth until my next book about there have been other like attempts. And it's just part of the journey, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And it's just it's something I live with every day. I have to make the choice to live every day. Yeah. And just having the tools necessary and respecting my mental health enough to stay on top of my treatment program. Yeah. And just know what my triggers are. The best thing for me is I know that it's not me, it's a part of me. And so every time like I feel certain symptoms, I'm like, this bitch, Jean. I've named her. Her name's Jean.
Jean.
She's a shady bitch, and she just, but she lies, and she is not. She wants me to feel a certain way, and so to me, that's what helps me is to know it's a dark day. It's not me. It's something outside of myself.
When you know that you're having one of those dark days, did you like have like a system in place for like, all right, this is what I'm going to need today to be able to cope, knowing that this is around the corner?
Yeah. And I try to not be too prescriptive because I think it's different for everybody.
Sure.
But I think it's a lot of trial and error. I've literally done everything holistic. I've done medicine. I've done everything under the sun, and I found the cocktail that works for me.
Yeah. So
I do have a thing that I do when I feel that way. And the most important part is knowing that it's happening, where I'm not just like, oh, I'm sad and this is how it feels. The world is terrible. I know it's a depressive cycle now. And that only comes with experience and treatment and going to doctors and talking about it and being very open so the people around you know to just look out for it.
Yeah.
I tell my husband all the time, it's a dark day. And he's like, all right, stay in bed.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the game plan now.
What was it like for you being on the road and having that grueling schedule while dealing with all of this as well? Like, I can't imagine what that's like while also having to go, here's your promo and seg one and you've got this and blah, blah, blah. Like that's a lot for anybody. So to be in that schedule for as long as you were, how did you do that?
Oh gosh. I would just like cry in the bathroom a lot.
Love a good cry sesh.
It was really interesting to see like the closest people around me not knowing.
Yeah.
And would just be like, are you okay? I remember Celeste, Caitlin, was actually like, oh, it all makes sense now. Like that one time we went to a gym and you were like, I'm going to stay in the car and cry.
God.
I was like, okay. But yeah, like it was just moments like that. And especially, you know, the last year was just so complicated. And
yes.
And I was a champion and it was all these great things and I got married but it was also, you know, there's just so much going on. It's a lot it's a tornado of emotion for your mental health. So it was a juggling act. And I don't know, I have no answers for how I survived it. I got lucky. I talked in an interview, I don't want to get too dark on this, but I talked in an interview about going to a hotel and my plan was, that was it. Yeah. And I ended up calling. I couldn't get through to a hotline, and all I could remember was 311. And I called 311, and a man 311 saved my life.
Wow.
Just talking to me.
Wow.
And I was like in a hotel with like the Divas Championship in my suitcase.
That's
like,
so like
you never know.
You
like, who's
never
struggling.
know. You really never know. Like it's just so like, yeah, you see this like powerful woman so in control of yourself, of your character. Like that's what I saw of AJ Lee. So to imagine that you were not feeling that same way. I mean, it's really, I guess it's great of you to be able to put that out there for other people, for them to understand. I know obviously this is a big thing for you to be an advocate for and to be so open about it, but you just never know what
you
people
really
are going
don't.
through.
To give people grace.
Yes.
Ask, check in.
Especially
ask
this
if they're
day and
okay.
age, like shit, man, we've all got so much stuff going on all the time.
For real.
Give people a little bit of a break.
And I will also say if you're struggling, there are so many wonderful hotlines that I would like put them in your phone. You know,
Yeah.
I believe it's 1-800-273-TALK. Put that in your phone so you don't have to search for 311 when you're alone.
Yeah.
You never know if you or someone you love might need it. But just reaching out and like telling people if there's something wrong, like that was something I had a real trouble with doing.
Yeah.
And now I don't. Now I'm like, I need help.
Help me. What is it like being on the other side of that when you're not in that dark mode and you're like, whoa, that almost happened and I'm okay today? What is that feeling like?
I don't, it's kind of like a car going past you and you're like, whoop.
Yeah.
And so it really becomes this thing that you have to stay on top of all the time. And you always have to kind of give yourself grace and check in with yourself and educate yourself about treatment and about the right method for you and about symptoms. So that's my biggest thing with whether it's you or someone you care about, education and empathy. If you just know what's happening and you can give people a little bit of space and healing and grace when they need help, you really could save your life or somebody else's.
Yeah, absolutely.